Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. It's your boy again. If you're meeting me for the first time, my name is TIK, and this is TIK Talks Football. Last night the Champions League once again delivered, and honestly, there's so much to look into. But before I start, I would like you to please give this video a thumbs up, and also subscribe to my YouTube channel TIK Talks Football, and also turn on your notification bell, and that will give me even more support, and I appreciate you all for that. So yeah, where do we start? We start with the game between Bayer Leverkusen and Arsenal. And honestly, of course, first of all, the match ended 1-1. Bayer Leverkusen took the lead before Arsenal equalized through a penalty kick by Kai Havertz. But first of all, I want to analyze this performance from Arsenal, and I feel like it was an average performance from Arsenal in the sense that they didn't really do anything in this match. I feel like they had some chances to score, but they couldn't finish. The likes of Martinelli, he couldn't finish, and I feel like Arsenal they were just not at the best at all. And even Mikel Arteta, even came out in the press conference after the game, stating that his side, did not perform well, and that he was not impressed by his side's performance. But all the same, it was not a bad result for Arsenal, in the end, because they were able to equalize. If not, they would have lost this match. And I feel like, them, again, it's just like the match between Newcastle and Barcelona. It was the same thing here. Arsenal considered first, and then now equalizing through a penalty kick. And again, that should not have been a penalty, because I feel like Madueke died. Because how can you take almost 11 steps before falling inside the penalty area? And if you look at that very scenario there, you see that there was no contact at all, and it fell down, and then the referee, without even going to check the VAR, awarded a penalty to Arsenal. And that was just not good enough. And honestly, you have to really question this VAR, because it's beginning to ruin football, and I feel like it has even ruined football, in fact. So yeah, that's how the game ended, 1-1, and Arsenal will be taking that draw to the Emirates, hoping that they can, see everything off and beat Bayer Leverkusen and go to the next round. So 1-1 between Bayer Leverkusen and Arsenal, and that was how the game ended. Then you have the Bodo Glimt beat Port Lisbon 3-0 in Norway at their home stadium. And honestly, these dark horses, Bodo Glimt, they are really surprising you, because with the way they have performed, imagine if you remember, they are beating the likes of Manchester City, they are beating the likes of Atletico Madrid, they beat Inter in the playoffs home and away to secure their place in this round of 16 tie. So man, they are really surprising Europe. And honestly, seeing what they are doing so far, the fact that they are not having any league matches to play, because of everything going on with their country, it's just so surprising, and of course, Sporting Lisbon, again, they were not good in that game. I feel like they were terrible, especially their defending. If you check all the 3 goals that Bodo Glimt scored, it was just terrible defending, from the Portuguese side. But man, what a team this Bodo Glimt team is. I feel like this Bodo Glimt team, they are playing like a team full of confidence and full of determination. They feel like they can be able to have a chance. They feel like they can be able to have a chance against any team. Be it Real Madrid. It doesn't matter how big the team is. They feel like they can have a chance against any team. And it's just so impressive. Seeing this team play. And that's how the game ended, 3-0 to Bodo Glimt, and what a performance from the Norwegian side, and that was how the game ended. And then we also dive into the match between PSG and Chelsea, which ended 5-2 to the French side. And honestly, in terms of how this match played, if you look at how both sides performed, I won't say that either side performed better than the other. It's just that both sides were poor defensively, especially Chelsea, and we'll come to them shortly. But Paris Saint-Germain, again, it was a night where they were clinical, and when they had their chances to score, they were able to score. But if you look at that Chelsea performance, especially defensively, it was absolutely poor. You look at each goal they conceded, it was just terrible defending. You look at the first goal, who was marking Barcola? No one was marking inside the 6-yard box. He was left free, unmarked, and went for that shot. And by the way, what a rocket from him as well. Then you look at the second goal, which was scored by Dembele. It actually came from Chelsea's goal scoring chance that they created, which Palmer couldn't score, because their goalkeeper made a save. And then from there, PSG instantly hit on the counter, and you're wondering, Where is Chelsea defense? Only two defenders marking. Which was their centre backs. And Dembele just twisted, twisted Fofana inside out and then scored. And that was terrible defending from Chelsea. And then likewise the third goal. For imagine Kvaratskhelia had to even come off the bench to score 2 goals and provide an assist. And honestly, man, Chelsea were terrible defensively. And of course the main thing to talk about is was Rosinho's approach to this game, because he was not supposed to have started his second choice goalkeeper. I feel like benching Robert Sanchez, for that goalkeeper that he started was the wrong decision, and it really cost Chelsea, this embarrassment and this shameful defeat, And again, even for that fourth goal, that Kvaratskhelia, went for the shot from outside the box and scored. You're wondering, he receives the ball, no one's marking him. He runs at Chelsea's defense, no one's marking him. He cuts inside, no one's marking him, and then goes for the shot and scores. Terrible defending. Chelsea were terrible in this game, and honestly, they deserve to really lose by this margin, because the defense was just not good enough. For the full 90 minutes, from start to finish, Chelsea's defense was not good enough. But that's why it ended 5-2 to Paris Saint-Germain. And remember, this was actually a rematch between these two sides, because they faced earlier on, this year and last year in the FIFA Club World Cup final, which Chelsea beat PSG 3-0. And I feel like now PSG have not only gotten their revenge, but they've also made us understand that win that Chelsea had against them in that Club World Cup final was a fluke. Because tell me how you go from beating this same team, the champions of Europe, 3-0, to now losing to them 5-2 away from home. It just shows that it was a fluke. You even had the likes of Nuno Mendes coming out to say that the reason why his side lost that Club World Cup final to Chelsea was because of fatigue. If not, maybe they would have beaten Chelsea. Because again, if you go back to that Club World Cup final match, you will see that PSG, they were not really at it, because they were playing like people that were tired, But in this match, PSG really played like how we know PSG would play. And man, what's a big win for them? And honestly, I feel like it's going to be an impossible task now for Chelsea to be able to turn this around, even though it's at their home stadium, Stamford Bridge. But yeah, that's the match. And then PSG 5, Chelsea 2. And yeah, what's it mean for PSG? And yeah, what an embarrassing, disgraceful, shameful performance, and the poor result to show for it, for after this game. But yeah, that's the game ended. And now we also move on to the big one, Real Madrid versus Manchester City. It ends Real Madrid 3, Manchester City 0. And honestly, that first half from Real Madrid is one of the best first half I've seen. First of all, for the first goal, imagine Thibaut Courtois from his goal line whipped the ball over the top to Valverde, who with one touch went past O'Reilly. Then with another touch went past Donnarumma, of which I don't know why Donnarumma had to go off his line, and then slotted the ball into an empty net. Then the second goal, poor defending from City, and then Valverde scores his brace. Then the third goal likewise. Imagine some real flick over Gay before he now shoots and scores. And honestly, man, what a win for Real Madrid this was. This was a big win for Real Madrid, and also a wonderful performance to show for it. And for those of you that have been saying that the Premier League, is the best league in the world, of course we know. Saying that that the Premier League is the best league in the world, is better than every other leagues because the team spend money. I hope you have seen everything that has happened to English clubs now. Because imagine every single English club that played in this round of 16 time, in this round of 16 time, they struggled. You saw the likes of Tottenham getting beat 5-2 by Atletico Madrid. You saw Newcastle. They took the lead only to go and concede a 94 minutes penalty against Barcelona. They couldn't even see how they win. You also saw Chelsea got beat 5-2. Now City getting beat 3-0 by Real Madrid. 3 goals in the first half. Valverde hat-trick. And it just shows that there was no need for all those unnecessary statements in the first place. Because I feel like in football, everything is turn by turn. If you remember, there was a time that Spanish teams were beating English teams, back to back, and now just in this league phase, English teams, finally had the chance to beat Spanish teams and to grab points off Spanish teams. But look at now, all English teams in this round of 16 time, they struggled. They absolutely struggled, and some even experienced heavy defeats. And I even forgot to even mention Liverpool also lost to Galatasaray 1-0, losing to Galatasaray twice this season, twice. So man, this honestly, it was so crazy. That's a Champions League night. Everything that happened last night, and yeah, that was how it ended. Real Madrid 3, Man City 0, and what a first half performance from Real Madrid. And honestly, it really could have even been, it really could have been more than 3 goals if only Real Madrid were able to convert. If only Real Madrid were able to convert their chances, because you also have Vinicius Junior, missing a penalty. And honestly, that was a poor penalty from Vinicius Junior. But yeah, 3-0 to Los Blancos, and of course, let's see whether let's see what happens in the second leg in every of these single fixtures. So yeah, here's your UCL recap and everything that happened last night. And honestly, it was so entertaining once again. Just like the other round of 16 side that took place last time. Even this one was so crazy and so entertaining. And everything happened. We saw goals, and we saw wonderful moments. So yeah, there you go. And yeah, let me also know what you think in the comment section down below, and who you think will go through, who you think will get knocked out. Who you think will be able to see it through, to see the title and go through to the quarterfinals, and also who you think will also make a miraculous comeback, at their respective respective second leg fixtures. But yeah, let me know your thoughts on the game. Make sure to also give this video a thumbs up. So subscribe to my YouTube channel, and also turn on your notification bell so that each time I post amazing football content like this, you're always notified. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in my next video. Peace out.